Hello and welcome to the Global Dynasty YouTube channel. We're back with another review, The Kardashians on Hulu, Season 3, Episode 5. You think I need your permission? Y'all, we need to go ahead and get into it because there's a lot to unpack. So the opening scene starts out with Kim talking to her friends about the night before. They're still in Milan getting ready for the show. And I just have one question. Why is North there? I understand why she's on the trip, but I don't understand why she's amongst her mom and her friends and they're discussing Chloe's dating life. That just seems like an inappropriate conversation for her to be there for. But North comes up with a prank for Chloe with a note from the actor Michelle Maroney from the previous episodes. So we're actually getting more of Courtney this season. She attends the restaurant opening for her husband, Travis Barker. He is part owner of a restaurant by the name of Crossroads in Calabasas. And I'll be honest, I think that Courtney and Travis take a lot of heat for their PDA, but I love it. I love the fact that they love each other, and I think that she's so deserving of a love like this. And so this event seems pretty big in my opinion because the mayor is present. I see Penelope and Rain. Travis's children are there. But I do notice that Courtney's family isn't present. And in Courtney's confessional, the producer kind of mentions it and she's just like, your family isn't there. And Courtney responds, "This is my family." And a lot of users on social media took that as being shady towards the Kardashians, but I don't think that Courtney was being shady. I think she does a good job with embracing Travis's children as her own. And I think she wanted to highlight that in that moment. So I don't think that there was any shade, and I think that that was a reach. But I really enjoyed their PDA, and I hope it continues because it's so good to see her finally get her happy ending. It's finally the day of the show. I'll be honest, I'm not understanding why the Dolce and Gabbana show has taken 3 episodes to get through. I think that production at this point needs to do a better job with editing. We don't need all the details of behind the scenes, and I think they spend a lot of time behind that. Just get to the point, get to the meat and potatoes. I think that when the Kardashians were on the network did such a good job with giving us so much in one episode versus Hulu. They'll take one event and draw it out for 3 episodes, and it's just like, we still haven't gotten to the point where Kim and Courtney are even going to discuss anything on this episode, and they still have a beef brewing. So, production, if you're listening, maybe work on that, please. All of the family ends up showing up for Kim, including her kids, but there's no Courtney in sight. And I'm not surprised because Courtney is not new to this. She's true to this. When she's upset with Kim, she's going to show it. She's one of the people that have the mindset, if I'm mad at you, I'm not going to attend your events. I remember when Kim had her baby shower for Psalm, the last child that she had. Courtney was not present. They were beefing at the time, so her not showing up, I knew that Courtney would do that. Just watching this show play out, I really wish that Kim and Kanye were on better terms. Just hear me out. I know that he would be so proud of this moment for her. This is a very big moment. And I think that her confidence actually would have been through the roof. This show, it doesn't really do a great job at highlighting specific moments, but I will say they pick up on the moments where Kim discusses she has to do something new. And it's, of course, the first time without her being married and also having that vocal point in her ear, Kanye being a creative and also being so essential in the fashion world. Even just watching this season, she was very hesitant with working with Dolce and Gabbana without her stylist because her stylist got caught up. So she was forced to be uncomfortable. And I think that if they were in a better place, it would have been a moment where it's just like, of course, we're not together, but this is an opportunity for you to see me shine. And I think that, she would have been proud of what she created. Not saying that she wasn't, but I think that it would have showed more in her confidence. And let me just say this whole Chloe and Michelle Maroney narrative, I needed to be done by this episode because it seems very forced and scripted. At this point, somebody just needs to say it, and I will. Chloe needs to heal. So after the successful show, Dolce and Gabbana end up throwing Kim a dinner, and I really did not like this part of the show. So during the dinner, they are reaching a point where they're doing a toast, and they mention how great of a moment this is, and how everyone should know and be proud of Kim. And Chris throws a jab at Courtney, and she says, especially Courtney. And I don't like how Kim, Chris, and Chloe were bad mouthing Courtney at the table, saying how she was upset about Kim doing the show. I feel like there has to be a level of professionalism and respect for your family member when it comes to family and business. And I think that they're not in your inner circle. They're currently people that you're doing business with. Of course, you're doing a setting where you're having a dinner and it's not at a professional level, it's rather casual. But I still think, take in consideration that Courtney is your sister. Although this is going on, you guys are still family, and I don't think that outside people should know when the family is feuding. And I'll just leave it at that. Travis is one of the most thoughtful men that I have come across on reality television. He actually reenacted his proposal for their 1 year anniversary. And so they spent the whole day on the beach. It was just the two of them, and they swam in the beach together. They just sat and talked, and it was so cute. Something so simple but still thought out was so expressed. And I'm like I said before, I am here for them. I love their love. I am glad that she has someone that actually pays attention to the things that she likes in life. And I am here for their ride. If they get a spinoff, if they only got one fan, I am the fan that'll be watching it. Okay, I do have to go back, but this is very important. So there was a scene where Courtney was in the closet talking to her stylist, Danny Michelle, and they were talking about Kim's Dolce and Gabbana show. Courtney is shady. So this is the time where Courtney's being shady. She says she didn't watch the show, but she saw pictures and saw how it was a 90s theme and thought that was crazy. She thinks that it's weird that her same designs that she picked out for her wedding were very similar to the designs on the show that Kim helped creative direct. And her stylist, asked her, like, are you going to address the issue with Dolce and Gabbana? And Courtney feels like she thought it was a personal relationship. However, she understands that it's business. She's more frustrated with Kim because they're family, and she thinks that Kim just should have flat out just said no. So the last scene of the show, Chloe and Kim are discussing Courtney's reaction to the Dolce and Gabbana show, because at this point, Courtney has already talked to Chloe, and she called her crying about the situation, pretty much saying the same thing that she said before. Some things that it's not always about money, we're family, take in consideration of my feelings. And so at this point, Chloe is being the messenger. They're pretty much talking through people. And Chloe also mentions to Kim how Courtney states that even her friends notice and think that it's weird. And Kim is real trill. She calls Simon. And you all know, of course, Kim and Simon had their relationship with Jonathan in the beginning, and they were very close. But throughout the seasons and the shows, Courtney and Simon have their own relationship. They're very tight. And so Kim, when she called Simon, I was like, oh, no, you didn't call the mutual friend. And so she's like, at this point, what are we going to do? Because Courtney doesn't want to talk about the situation. And if you really want to be technical, Courtney was wearing stuff that I wore in 2018. And so Simon's just letting Kim know, like, I don't think she really wants to talk about it. And Kim takes a jab at Courtney and says that she doesn't have any friends. I think that she's just heated at this point. But I do think that they're too old to be talking through people. And I also think that this whole debacle about Dolce and Gabbana, I don't even think it's about the show. I think it's deeper. I think Courtney does a great job at expressing exactly what is bothering her. But sometimes her sisters don't actually listen to her, because if you see, she states that Kim had this attitude at her wedding where she acted like she didn't enjoy everything. And I think that's where the problem really stems from. So if you look at it from the perspective of Courtney, it's just like, you attend my wedding, you don't have a good time, but then you turn around and you creative direct with the same people that did my wedding. And not only do you creative direct with them, you pull 90s designs. You pull some of the same things that I was wearing and put in the show. So I will say I do see it from her perspective, but then I also see it from Kim's perspective. I think that in a sense it's not that deep as Courtney is taking it. I think that money is involved. It's a business deal. You can vent your frustrations, but getting to the point where you don't even show up for your own sister, I think that that's a little too much. And that's where I say it's not that deep. But I do see both sides, and I hope that they come to a resolution, because at this point we haven't seen it yet. They haven't even talked yet, and we're on episode 5. So hopefully it picks up. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? Are we Team Kim? Do we think Kim had every right to do the Dolce and Gabbana show? Or are we Team Courtney? We're all about family. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.